Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. This is going to be my Korra Operation Beifong video. So we learned a whole bunch of stuff, whole bunch of questions answered about the characters, and we learned the titles of all the remaining episodes. So I'm going to do a breakdown of those too. Just a quick reminder, the last two episodes are going to air together. So instead of just doing one episode on the 19th, there'll be two episodes. I'll wait till after spoilers to talk about the episode titles of the last couple of episodes, just in case you guys don't want to know. Really quick reminder, new round of the giveaway starts right now. This time I'm actually going to give away a copy of the Korra Book 3 DVD or Blu-ray, whichever one you guys want. Whoever ends up winning can just pick whatever they want. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. So I'll announce the winner in my Q&A. Careful for spoilers from the episode if you're not caught up, but starting with top 5 moments. So number 5, Juicy Sky Bison explained. Opal totally explains what's going on with Snotty Sky Bison. His name is Juicy, and it's her Sky Bison, bonded for life. He is super cute. Everyone thought he was sick. I even thought he was sick just because the snot was so green. I think they did that just so that it would stand out and it would be in contrast to like the white fur. Turns out he just has persistent runny nose, which might be caused by something else. There might actually really be something wrong with him that Opal just doesn't realize. He seems pretty happy though, for the most part. I love how they imbue personality into the Sky Bison. Appa is still and will always be the most famous Sky Bison, but it's fun to meet all the new ones, especially during Book 3 when we got to meet all the baby Sky Bison. It seems like everyone's going to be converging on Republic City for the last couple of episodes for this big final battle, so hopefully the Airbendels will show up, so we'll see lots more Sky Bison too, probably. One really small thing that I noticed too was Opal's Sky Bison whistle. I mean, it's kind of like a dog whistle. It's on a frequency that only they can hear. Don't be surprised if you see those show up on Etsy at some point. I would totally buy one if I found it. Maybe at like the next Comic-Con. Maybe some fan will start making them. Although Nickelodeon would probably sue them out of existence. Number 4, this is a big one. Lin Beifong's father explained. Important stuff first. His name is Kanto. No, we do not know who he is. Like, we haven't met him before. He hasn't appeared in the comics either. That doesn't mean that he won't eventually. I mean, he has to eventually if they keep making Avatar comics. Best Lin reaction face I've ever seen in the history of anything ever. I'm going to talk about the animation during my review portion of the video, but just the shading on her face too is just so amazing. Like, it just looks so amazing, in addition to being just the most hilarious thing. I would say before this, everyone kind of thought that Sartoru was going to be her husband, or at least Lin's father. Now remember that Lin and Suyin have different fathers. It hasn't always been really evident depending on what kind of screen you watched on and the relative brightness, but when you see Lin and Suyin standing next to each other, look at the difference in their skin color. Suyin looks a little bit more like Korra did the last time we saw her in Republic City, like after she cut her hair and put her old costume back on. All I'm going to say is that people are hoping for like a Toph Sokka situation. Suyin is the back door to that. Really important too, it sidesteps the issue of Lin going out with Tenzin when they were kids. That was the big Lin Beifong like detractor, the big piece of evidence that people said, you know, there's no way Sokka is going to be Lin's father. But he could totally be Suyin's father. They haven't answered the question yet, so it's still wide open. All I'm going to say is that her dark skin color makes it look like her father is someone from the Water Tribe. I also kind of love the way that Toph reacts to all the family drama. Like, I dealt with this a long time ago. Like, she's completely over drama. I imagine at some point when she was raising them, like she tried to deal with it, like whenever she was leading the metal bending police force, whenever she founded it. But she explained that at a certain point, she just got sick of it all and went to the swamp and just started hanging out there. And as expected, she has been using the vines to keep track of everyone all over the world. The really important question now is, are they going to reveal Suyin's father before the end of the series, or are they going to save that for the comics? I mean, I kind of think that they're going to give that to us and they will explain. Number 3, Zhu Li's plan explained. Lots of explaining going on in this episode. As expected, Zhu Li totally running a long con on Kuvira, trying to sabotage the weapon or just slow its development. I'm so happy. This was my leading theory. I would have been super disappointed if she completely turned on Barrick. She just seemed like she was way too smart, like one step ahead of everyone to just completely turn on them on a dime. Bolin said it himself in so many words. Zhu Li is just way too smart for that kind of bullcrap. And now she gets to be like the prophet of doom for Republic City. Tell him that Kuvira is coming and she's bringing hell with her. Real quick side note about Baatar Jr. too that I think is going to come back in a future episode. When he found out that Opal was on the business end of that spirit vine weapon, he immediately wanted to shut it down. Like, he flipped out. So I think at some point he's going to turn on Kuvira too. Like I said, Korra probably isn't going to defeat Kuvira in like a bending contest. Kuvira's real weapon is her popularity. She's going to have to turn everyone against Kuvira. So I think slowly that will end up happening. This is a bit of an extreme example, but it's like Darth Vader turning on the Emperor. Like, eventually, Kuvira's inner circle is all going to abandon her. Zhu Li is gone, Baatar Jr. is going to do it eventually too. I think at the end of the day, family is always going to trump power, which is why I think we have not seen Kuvira's family, like her actual family, her real parents. So shit is getting real. Number 2, President Raiko wants his own spirit vine weapons to fight Kuvira. Book 4 has mostly seemed like a World War II allegory, with Kuvira marching all over Europe, conquering nations. But now it's starting to seem a little bit more like the Cold War, where President Raiko is like, okay, we need our own nuclear weapons too. I totally love Asami and Varric's hummingbird mechs. The funny thing about their explanation is Varric pretty much says that Asami came up with the idea herself. To his credit, he's a technical genius, but Asami is the one that's really inspired. Just as a point of perspective, she's the one that designed the airbender costumes, like the functional ones they use as gliders. So while Varric can design really awesome things, Asami's the one that designs really beautiful things. The flip side of this, Korra hits the giant pause button and tries to get help from the spirits, to which they basically say deal breaker. That spirit that was talking to her actually seemed like the same spirit that she saved when she was like little Korra in book 2. That was the one that turned into the giant phoenix looking thing, so it was a little different looking, but I felt like it was almost the same spirit. Even though the spirit world seems fairly democratic in terms of the distribution of power and authority, it's always interesting to see which of the spirits kind of stands up as the leader. Just in terms of endgame, I mean, there's no way the spirits are going to be able to completely avoid the conflict, even though they are standing out for now. Based on the last couple of episode titles, I feel like we're building towards some sort of lion turtle reveal. We haven't really seen them on Legend of Korra yet, at least in present day. We saw them during beginnings, but we haven't seen them while Korra's been around. What I'd really like to see in terms of like a spirit answer to all this conflict that's going on is a lion turtle to appear in the swamp. Like if the swamp is built on the back of a lion turtle. Or if Republic City, like this would be crazier, but what if Republic City was actually built on a lion turtle without people knowing about it? Like if this big final battle ends up happening at Republic City, Kuvira comes up with the giant spirit laser, and then a lion turtle just rises out of the ground. That would be like the biggest WTF ever. That would be like one of the greatest moments they could go out on. Not that I think that's going to happen, that's like wishful thinking. Don't count your lion turtles before they've hatched. And yes, some turtles do hatch from eggs. If Mike and Brian can bring the dragons back, they can totally bring the lion turtles back too. And my number 1 WTF moment, Kuvira is marching on Republic City with the Spirit Vine weapon, which can punch a hole through a mountain. I think we all kind of expected this. I mean, there's no way Kuvira was just going to sit on her butt in the Earth Kingdom, or the Earth Empire, however you want to think about it now. Really important language that she had. She said, "This is just the beginning." Pretty much confirming, I mean, she's just like Hitler. She's just going to go all over the world, conquering all of the bending nations. I think we all know that's not going to happen. The question is what is going to happen to stop that? Something is going to have to neutralize the Spirit Vine weapon, and something's going to have to happen to make everyone just completely question their belief system. I feel like the appearance of a lion turtle at the last moment would be that. That would be one of those things. Either that or Korra just has to have some sort of like super Jedi bending moment where she goes just absolutely nuclear. Let me know though, what was your favorite moment? And here's my big question for you guys. Do you think that Sokka is Su Yin's father, or do you think it's just someone we haven't met yet? So really important stuff. Here are the titles of the last couple of episodes. Episode 11 is called Kuvira's Gambit. Episode 12 is called Day of the Colossus. Episode 13, the final episode, the finale, is called The Last Stand. A lot of things that those titles could imply. Kuvira's Gambit, I think she's probably going to try and get President Raiko to vacate Republic City. Like she's going to threaten firing the laser on Republic City if they don't vacate or swear fealty to her. And Day of the Colossus just sounds like the most epic, crazy thing ever is going to happen. That can imply Colossus in terms of like a giant physical spirit, like at the end of book 1 during Avatar, with the giant water spirit. It could be a lion turtle. It could be Korra, like, going into giant energy form. A lot of different things. So post all your theories in the comments. Overall, I give the episode a solid A. I thought it was an amazing use of Beifong. You could have used the alternate title, Maximum Beifong. You can never get enough Beifong. It was so much fun. I think my favorite performer in this episode wasn't Bolin. Bolin is an actor by trade, as Lin says. Pay no attention to him, he's just an actor. But it was actually Lin, like Lin Beifong. She went through the complete spectrum of emotions that you can have. Like the complete spectrum of human emotion. Everything from incredulity to happiness to sadness, to being the standard baseline Beifong grumpy. She's clearly still got some issues to work through, but I think, pending what happens in the finale, I think she's just gonna live out the rest of her life being a metal bending teacher and a police officer or police chief. She'll just probably mellow out just a little bit more. Su Yin didn't have a whole lot of lines of dialogue in the episode, but her fight with Kuvira was so cats in the cradle. That was actually what I was hoping for. I think that was one of my predictions in my last video. Like, I felt it would have been more rewarding for us, or at least thematically, if Su Yin were the one to fight Kuvira, just because she treated her like a daughter. I mean, now that she's married Baatar Jr., she literally is her daughter. Family fights are always so much more charged. They're just so much more personal. So now we have to talk about the animation. This is probably one of the biggest things I'm going to miss about Legend of Korra. Studio Mirror's animation. Just even looking at some of the background shots, like Kuvira's hangar, just so beautiful, where she melts armor onto herself. Coolest use of scrap metal ever. It's always fun to see how characters' personal philosophies influence their styles of bending. Like Beifong and Su Yin, both amazing metal benders, but they have widely different personalities. So Su Yin is a little bit more artistic, so she flows a little bit more like a waterbender, a little bit more graceful. Beifong has like a little bit more firebender in her, even though her father wasn't a firebender, probably. Just much more aggressive, like Book 1 Korra, very gung-ho. There's such a wide spectrum of martial arts inside the series. It's fun how they give members of the same family just widely different styles. Even Su Yin's sons, the twin benders, so much fun to watch. Like just the synchronicity that they have. Like they have one mind that they share. Which actually reminds me of Desna and Eska, who we haven't seen in a little while. Just another pair of twin benders. Regardless, it's just amazing to watch. There's a lot of Avatar of the series in general, like Korra and the original Last Airbender, that you could watch without sound. Or you could watch without dialogue, that is. Like, it's just so beautiful just to watch them dance around. In fact, I would actually recommend that. Like, if any of you are having any parties, just play Avatar silently in the background with music on top of it. Like, you don't even need dialogue. Like, that's how awesome it is. Quick reminder on the schedule. Next week will be episode 11, then the week after that will be the 2 episodes on the 19th. It'll be episodes 12 and 13. So be sure to subscribe to get my video. I'll be posting a Q&A tomorrow. And don't forget, new mobile links up here. If you're on your mobile phone or on your tablet, you can just click on them. It's the same as the links over here. But click here for that Q&A video. I'll have the annotation as soon as I post it. And click here for my episode 9 video. Thank you so much for watching. So let's all high five. I will see you guys tonight.